There is a moment that happens quietly for a lot of people. At first, you barely notice it. You hold the menu a little farther away. You squint at the television. You start turning lights on earlier in the evening. And driving at night becomes just a little more uncomfortable. Not terrifying, not dramatic, just different. Then one day, you wake up and your eyes feel dry, heavy, foggy. You blink a few times hoping things will clear. But the blur lingers. And slowly, you start asking yourself a question that millions of people ask every year. Is this just aging? Because that is what most people are told. You're getting older. Your eyes are wearing out. It happens to everyone. And yes, aging changes the eyes. That part is true. But here is the problem. People have been taught to believe that blurry vision is simply a normal, unavoidable part of growing older. And that is not entirely true, because many of the changes happening inside aging eyes are not random. They are chemical. They are metabolic. And in many cases, they are happening silently while you sleep. Most people think the eyes rest at night. But the truth is, your eyes are incredibly active during sleep. The retina, the optic nerves, the tiny blood vessels inside the back of the eye, all of them are trying to repair the stress and damage created during the day. And if your body does not have the nutrients it needs to support that repair process, those delicate tissues begin to weaken, slowly, quietly, year after year. That is why some people notice dry eyes in the morning, blurred vision at night, difficulty focusing, more glare from headlights, halos around lights, trouble reading small print, or colors that no longer look as sharp as they once did. And the frightening part is this. By the time most people notice the symptoms, the damage has already been developing for years. The American Optometric Association has warned that adults over 60 face dramatically increased risk for dry eyes, cataracts, retinal damage, glaucoma, and macular degeneration. But what most people never hear about is what may help protect the eyes before things become severe, because researchers have been uncovering something fascinating. Certain natural compounds found inside ordinary fruits appear to support several of the exact systems aging eyes struggle with most. We are talking about oxidative stress, inflammation, reduced blood flow, poor oxygen delivery, nighttime retinal repair, and damage caused by glycation and unstable blood sugar. Now listen carefully. This is not magic. This is not a miracle cure. And no fruit is going to reverse blindness overnight. But the research around nutrition and eye health has become impossible to ignore. Some foods appear to support the eyes in ways most people never expected, especially when they are eaten consistently, especially before sleep, and especially when paired with healthy lifestyle habits. Today, I want to walk you through 7 fruits that researchers believe may help support your eyes while you sleep. And I saved the most surprising one for the end, because the number 1 fruit on this list contains compounds linked to one of the biggest hidden drivers behind blurry vision and cloudy lenses. And chances are you already have it sitting in your kitchen. I'm Dr. Sean Dozbo, and this is how to support your vision naturally. Let's begin. Number 7, kiwi. Most people walk right past kiwi at the grocery store. It is small, fuzzy, almost forgettable. But when researchers started looking closely at what kiwi contains, eye specialists became very interested, because one of the biggest problems inside aging eyes is oxidative stress. Think about your retina like camera film. Every single day, it absorbs light, processes information, and converts that information into electrical signals your brain can understand. That takes energy, a tremendous amount of energy. And tissues that use a lot of energy produce a lot of oxidative stress. Over time, those retinal cells begin to wear down. This is where kiwi becomes interesting. Kiwi contains lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds behave almost like internal sunglasses for your eyes. They help absorb damaging blue light, and they help protect the retina from oxidative injury. Researchers have found that people with higher levels of lutein and zeaxanthin tend to have better long-term retinal health. But kiwi has another interesting feature. It contains nutrients linked to better sleep quality, and deep sleep matters far more to your eyes than most people realize, because your body does much of its repair work during deep sleep. That includes the tiny blood vessels feeding your retina, that includes tissue recovery, that includes inflammatory regulation. Everything works together. Some studies have even suggested that people consuming kiwi regularly before bed experience improved sleep quality and reduced oxidative stress. Now imagine combining those benefits: better sleep, better retinal protection, better antioxidant support. That matters, especially after 60. So here is how I recommend using it. 2 golden kiwis, about an hour before bed. Golden kiwis tend to contain more lutein and are easier on digestion than the greener, more acidic varieties. And here is the important detail. Do not scrape the fruit completely clean from the skin. That thin layer just beneath the surface contains concentrated antioxidants. Small details matter. Number 6, watermelon. Now, most people think watermelon is just sugar and water, but researchers studying circulation and retinal health started noticing something fascinating. People consuming foods rich in lycopene often showed better markers for vascular health. And vascular health matters tremendously for your eyes, because the retina depends on tiny, delicate blood vessels. When circulation slows, the retina suffers. Oxygen delivery decreases, nutrient delivery decreases, and repair slows down. That is one reason blurry vision often feels worse in the morning. During sleep, the eyes are relying entirely on healthy circulation. Now, watermelon is over 90% water, which helps hydration. And hydration is critical for tear production and eye comfort. But the real star here is lycopene. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant connected to reduced oxidative damage. Researchers have explored its relationship with cataracts, retinal stress, and inflammatory changes inside the eye. Watermelon also supports nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide helps blood vessels relax. Relaxed blood vessels mean better circulation. Better circulation means better oxygen delivery. And your retina absolutely depends on oxygen. People often forget that. The retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the entire body. When oxygen drops, retinal stress rises. Now, here is how to use watermelon correctly. 1 to 2 cups, 30 to 60 minutes before bed, and avoid adding salt. A lot of people love salted watermelon, but excessive sodium can increase fluid imbalance and may negatively affect eye pressure in vulnerable individuals. And here's another interesting tip. That white layer near the rind contains citrulline. Citrulline helps support nitric oxide production, meaning the part most people throw away may actually support circulation the most. Number 5, black currants. Now, this is one many Americans have never even tried, but black currants may be one of the most underrated fruits for aging eyes, especially for people struggling with night vision. Here is why. Inside your retina is a visual pigment called rhodopsin. Rhodopsin helps your eyes adjust between bright and dark environments. As people age, that adaptation becomes weaker. That is why headlights suddenly feel blinding, why driving at night becomes exhausting, why entering a dark room feels disorienting. Black currants contain extraordinary amounts of anthocyanins. These deep purple pigments are powerful antioxidants, but they also appear to support retinal blood flow and rhodopsin regeneration. Researchers studying glaucoma and retinal circulation became especially interested in these compounds. Some studies showed improved blood flow around the optic nerve. Others showed improved visual adaptation in low-light environments. And this matters because poor retinal circulation often develops silently, long before major vision loss. Many people assume their worsening night vision is just getting older, but poor circulation and oxidative damage are often involved. Now, black currants are difficult to find fresh. So many people use standardized extracts. Around 50 milligrams of anthocyanins daily has been used in several studies, and pairing them with healthy fats may improve absorption because many eye protective compounds are fat-soluble. Again, tiny details matter. Number 4, blueberries. Now, blueberries have become famous for brain health. But the retina is actually part of the nervous system, which means many of the same compounds protecting the brain may also support the eyes. And researchers have been studying blueberries intensely, especially wild blueberries, not the giant oversized supermarket versions. The smaller wild blueberries contain dramatically higher concentrations of antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins and pterostilbene. These compounds appear to cross protective barriers inside the body and directly support tissues vulnerable to oxidative stress. And remember, your eyes are constantly exposed to light. That means constant oxidative burden over years and decades. That damage accumulates. Some people notice difficulty reading. Others notice eye strain. Others develop worsening glare sensitivity. Now, here is where blueberries become interesting. Several studies involving older adults showed improvements in visual function and reduced eye fatigue with consistent blueberry consumption, especially related to digital eye strain and low light performance. And there is another important point. Blood sugar stability matters enormously for the eyes. High blood sugar damages tiny blood vessels. That includes the tiny vessels inside the retina. This is one reason diabetes is so dangerous for vision. Blueberries have a surprisingly favorable effect on blood sugar response compared to many other sweet foods. So here is the recommendation. About 1/3 cup of wild blueberries, 45 minutes before sleep, and do not combine them with dairy. Milk proteins may interfere with anthocyanin absorption. Most people never hear that. Another useful trick is lightly freezing and thawing the blueberries. This breaks down cell walls and may improve antioxidant availability. Number 3, dragon fruit. Now, dragon fruit looks exotic, almost artificial. Bright colors, tiny black seeds, a strange appearance. But researchers became interested in dragon fruit because of circulation and oxygen delivery, particularly related to nitric oxide support. Now, this matters because retinal hypoxia is a real problem. Hypoxia means tissues are not receiving enough oxygen, and the retina is extremely sensitive to oxygen fluctuations. If oxygen delivery weakens during sleep, repair suffers. People wake up with heavy eyes, blurred peripheral vision, eye fatigue, and reduced contrast sensitivity. Dragon fruit contains betalains. Betalains are antioxidants associated with vascular protection and nitric oxide support. Again, that means circulation. And circulation is life for retinal tissue. Some studies examining ocular circulation found improvements in blood vessel responsiveness and visual performance. Now, here's the important detail. You want the red-fleshed dragon fruit? Not the white one. The red variety contains significantly higher antioxidant levels. And chew the seeds. Do not swallow them whole. Those tiny seeds contain omega-3 fats and minerals linked to retinal health. Half a dragon fruit, 1 hour before bed. Simple. Number 2. Goji berries. Now, these have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries, long before modern ophthalmology existed. And modern researchers are finally beginning to understand why. Because goji berries contain extraordinary levels of zeaxanthin. Remember earlier when we talked about lutein and zeaxanthin? These compounds accumulate directly inside the retina, particularly inside the macula. The macula is responsible for central vision, reading, recognizing faces, fine detail, color clarity, and one of the biggest threats to aging eyes is macular degeneration. Over time, oxidative stress and inflammation damage this critical tissue, and once the macula weakens, people begin losing the sharp central vision needed for daily life. This is why goji berries became such an important research topic. In several studies involving older adults, regular goji berry consumption increased macular pigment density. That is extremely important because macular pigment acts almost like protective armor. It helps absorb damaging light and defend retinal tissue. Now, here's how to use them. 2 tablespoons, soaked in warm water, about 30 minutes before sleep. Soaking helps digestion and improves texture. And pairing them with a small amount of dark chocolate may actually improve absorption of some beneficial compounds. Not candy bar chocolate, real dark chocolate, high cacao. Again, we are talking about support, not miracles. But support matters, especially over years. And now, number 1, papaya. This one surprises almost everyone because papaya targets one of the least discussed causes of vision decline, glycation. Now, if you have never heard that word before, listen carefully. Glycation happens when excess sugar binds to proteins inside the body. Over time, those proteins become damaged, stiff, inflamed, and dysfunctional. This process contributes to aging all throughout the body. But inside the eyes, it becomes especially dangerous because the lens of the eye depends on transparent proteins. When glycation damages those proteins, the lens becomes cloudy. That is part of what happens in cataracts. Papaya contains papain, an enzyme associated with anti-inflammatory and protein-supportive effects. It also contains vitamins A, C, and E. These nutrients are heavily involved in retinal protection and tear film stability. Now, researchers examining glycation markers found something fascinating. People regularly consuming papaya showed improvements in several markers associated with oxidative stress and eye comfort, particularly related to dry eyes and contrast sensitivity. Now, here is the important part. Fresh papaya works best, not heavily processed versions, and room temperature matters. Cold temperatures can reduce enzyme activity, so let the papaya warm slightly before eating, 1 cup, about an hour before sleep, and squeeze fresh lime juice over the top. Vitamin C helps improve absorption and enhances flavor. Now, before we finish, there are several critical rules you need to understand, because many people eat healthy foods but never absorb the nutrients properly. Rule number 1, do not combine these fruits with heavy dairy. Milk proteins and high calcium meals may interfere with absorption of important antioxidants like anthocyanins. That means your healthy fruit yogurt bowl may actually block some benefits. Give yourself at least 90 minutes between dairy and these fruits. Rule number 2, add healthy fats. Many eye-supportive nutrients are fat-soluble, meaning your body absorbs them better with fat. Walnuts, avocado, flaxseed, olive oil. Small amounts can dramatically improve absorption. Rule number 3, timing matters. Eating these fruits right before sleep is not ideal. Your body will still be heavily digesting, but eating them too early may mean nutrients are cleared before your nighttime repair window begins. The sweet spot appears to be 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Rule number 4, protect your sleep. This is huge because none of these nutrients matter if your sleep is terrible. Your eyes repair themselves during deep sleep. If you are sleeping 4 hours, if you are constantly waking up, if you are blasting blue light into your eyes at midnight, you are sabotaging your retinal recovery. Protect sleep like medicine. Rule number 5, control blood sugar. This may be the biggest one because chronically elevated glucose damages tiny blood vessels, and your retina is filled with tiny blood vessels. This is why diabetes is so devastating for vision. You cannot outsupplement chronically high blood sugar. The eyes are metabolic tissues, and metabolic health matters. That means reducing processed sugar, reducing ultra-processed foods, reducing inflammatory eating patterns. Everything connects. Now, I want to say something important. Most people wait too long to care about their eyes. They wait until driving feels dangerous, until reading becomes frustrating, until they cannot recognize faces from across the room, and then suddenly they become desperate. But the eyes are like the brain. Protection works best early. Small, consistent habits matter. Nutrition matters. Sleep matters. Circulation matters. Inflammation matters. And the body is constantly responding to the signals you give it. That includes your eyes. Now imagine this. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and your eyes feel less dry, less irritated, less heavy. Imagine driving at night with more confidence, reading without constantly adjusting the light, seeing sharper contrast, experiencing less glare. That matters, not just because of vision, but because vision is independence. Vision is confidence. Vision is quality of life. It is seeing the faces you love, reading messages from your grandchildren, watching sunsets, driving safely, cooking, traveling, living. And most people never realize how precious eyesight is until they begin losing it. So if there is one message I want you to remember from this video, it is this. Do not assume blurry vision is simply a normal, unavoidable part of aging. Sometimes your body is asking for support. And when you give your body the right nutrients, the right sleep, the right environment, remarkable things can happen. No, not miracles, but support, protection, resilience, and that matters, especially over the course of years. I'm Dr. Sean Dozbo, and now you know why what you eat before bed may matter far more than you ever realized. Take care of your eyes, because once vision fades, most people would give anything to get it back. And I'll see you in the next video.